Hello YouTube, what is going on? GZTV here, and we are getting started here with the NFL recaps for week 9. The week isn't over at the time of me recording this. Obviously it's going to when I get the video out. We still have a Monday night game. I can't remember who plays. We'll get to it if we get to it, but I'm not going to talk about the Thursday game. You guys saw the Dolphins get absolutely embarrassed, as they've been getting embarrassed all season long, but we are going to get through all of the Sunday slate games. Basically all of these games except for like maybe 2 of them were insane games. So we're going to be getting into all that right here in this video. I'm very excited. Obviously, my Packers lost, but look, I was pretty negative. I was pretty negative when the Packers lost, and we're going to talk about that game here in a second. I have a lot of grievances towards guys like Matt Lafleur, like I have in the past couple of weeks of us playing shitty football, honestly. Well, I think the Sunday night game against the Steelers was great, but got a lot against Matt Lafleur. You guys are going to know me well, but let's just kind of get into the games. I don't really know what else to say. So first things first, I'm just going to look at my phone here for these games. We have the Falcons and the Patriots. The Patriots hang on. They beat the Falcons by a point after a late extra point missed by Atlanta. A lot of kicking miscues. They had to get rid of Younghoe Koo for that reason, and now they continue to struggle. With his team watching as its lead whittled away late in the fourth quarter, Patriots coach Mike Vrabel knew he had to say something, and my fucking goodness, the Patriots are 7-2 on this season, 6th win in a row after starting the season 1-2 with not a lot of hope in the tank. And my goodness, shout out to Drake London. Obviously the game tying attempt, and obviously the huge performance from Drake London was no match for the Patriots, but my god, Cardi B hanging out with Robert Kraft at the Patriots game with Stephon Diggs being her boyfriend, that's fun. Michael Penix Jr. was again hitting Drake London all game, and they had really good chemistry. And for my fantasy, my goodness, Drake London played phenomenal. Stephon Diggs though, really dope touchdown. That shit was fucking sick. But kind of just looking at the stuff here, I mean, Michael Penix Jr., pretty good game despite the loss. 22 for 37, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns. 118 of those 221 passing yards went to Drake London, who had 9 catches and 3 touchdowns. Drake May, really good game as well. 19 for 29, 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, but they had a lot going for them, so I think he could afford that stuff. Not a great game for Bijan Robinson, but it's fine. Demario Douglas, really good on the receiving end. 4 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. We saw Kayshon Boutte go out with a hamstring. Hopefully he is okay. He has been one of my favorite receivers in the league this season. I've loved watching him. And Christian Gonzalez locking it down on the defense. So shout out to the Patriots, man. Chargers and Titans, man, somehow LA made this a close one. This was probably one of the first games we've talked about with the Titans this season, but Justin Herbert shakes off a pick 6. The Chargers beat a skidding Titans. They win by 7. Now I'm not sure who's worse, the Titans or the Jets, but there you have it. Huge pick 6 on the second offensive play of the game. That is a huge momentum stopper, and I do understand why this game would have been close because of that. Obviously later in the game, a right tackle got hurt. A lot of things were kind of stacking up against LA. I know it is Tennessee, but still, they went through some odds to win this. Really good game though. Justin Herbert running for touchdowns, throwing touchdowns to Quentin Johnston, who's had a couple off weeks this season, but overall he's actually been performing for this Chargers team. I love to see it. Chimere DK had a punt return touchdown. He's a great defensive back. Cody Barton had the pick 6. So yeah, a lot of special teams, a lot of defense early in the game for the Titans that really kept them in it. But at the end of the day, it was Justin Herbert. After the pick 6, he threw 19 for 29, 250 yards, and 2 touchdowns with a pick. Eerily similar to Drake May's game. Cam Ward, 12 for 21, 145 yards. Could have got in the end zone, but wasn't a super problematic game. Tony Pollard had 10 carries for 56 yards, and Justin Herbert also getting it done on the ground. 9 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown. And my boy Gadsden, I didn't play him this week, but I think Mark Andrews played pretty good. But Gadsden, 5 catches for 68 yards, and the young receiver for the Titans, Ayo Maynor, was kind of their best target. 3 catches for 46 yards. And OA has been an amazing player this season for the Chargers. He continues that. Bears and Bengals, my goodness, what a fucking game this was. Bears outlast the Bengals. This was one of the wildest, probably games of the year. Probably one of the most unnecessary games of the year, but they win by 5 on Caleb Williams' touchdown pass to Colston Loveland in the final minute. Caleb Williams was prepared to lead a game-winning drive, but wasn't prepared for it to come that easy, as the Cincinnati Bengals, I think statistically this season, it is safe to say damn near in NFL history, at least in my lifetime, they're the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. Very high-scoring game. What the hell was this? This looked like a goddamn college football game. Crazy touchdown for Colston Loveland. That was just missed tackles. That was just terrible coverage. I think that was just bad all all around for the Bengals defense. But what do you know? They've been doing that all year. They gave up 38 points to one of the worst teams in the NFL, the fucking Jets, for Christ's sake. Shout out to Joe Flacco. He found guys like Andrew Iosivas, who had a pretty costly, illegal touching play. And maybe if that didn't happen, this game would have went completely differently. But crazy stuff. They just couldn't get the game done. And you guys saw Chase Brown talking shit. I don't know why he is talking shit, though, because he's been pretty quiet this year. DJ Moore had a rushing touchdown. Obviously, you see the Bears coach, Ben Johnson, his offensive mastermind come to play here. T. Higgins was unfucking believable this game, too. This was just a really good offensive game. I don't think anyone really lost here. I think the Bears just scored more points at the end of the day, with Caleb Williams going 20 for 34, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. Fantastic stuff. My goodness, man. Joe Flacco, 31 for 47, 470 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks, which, yeah, that can be costly. Man, Chase Brown's got to pick it up. Monongai for the fucking Bears, 26 carries, 176 yards. That is unbelievable. One of the best running back performances we've seen all year. Colston Loveland, 6 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Look at the rookie go. T. Higgins, 7 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. This game was insane. And I mean, Montez Sweat, Tremaine Edmonds, those are huge players on that defense that help them win games. So shout out to the Bears, despite being a division rival. Still cool to see them win. Down go the Indianapolis Colts to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steelers aren't looking too bad. This is a really good win for them to get. The embattled Steelers defense forces 6 turnovers. The Steelers defense has faced some criticism this year, but they're here to make a stand. Pittsburgh tops the AFC leading Colts by 7. The Pittsburgh Steelers tuned out the noise and turned back the clock for their defense, because what a win. Holding on at home, big time, picking off Daniel Jones 3 times this game, and yeah, Daniel Jones has had an absolute masterclass of a season, but it's that Steelers defense. Josh Downs had a nice touchdown for the Colts. Obviously, Jalen Warren was cooking. I think I had him in my other league, which is cool. Aaron Rodgers and Pat Freiermuth, that chemistry is starting to build in Pittsburgh. They're starting to find each other down the field. It's all been pretty amazing. I'm kind of skimming through these games because really the only games I watched today were the Packers game, obviously. I watched the 49ers versus Giants, which we're actually not going to talk about today. I watched Bills Chiefs. I watched a little bit of the Raiders game. I think that's really about it. I obviously watched the Sunday night game, but that was a blowout, so we don't need to talk about that either. I guess kind of looking into other things, Daniel Jones, 31 for 50, 342 yards and a touchdown, but he threw 3 picks. And honestly, Jonathan Taylor, not the greatest game either. Aaron Rodgers, 25 for 35, he threw a touchdown. You get a 2-touchdown game for Jalen Warren. Michael Pittman, despite the loss, had a really good game, 9 catches, 115 yards, and Calvin Austin had 5 catches for 56. You have Highsmith and Patrick Wilson really leading the way for the Steelers defense, and that's really all I have for this game. Holy shit, we still have 5 more games to talk about, and one of those games I'm sure no one gives a shit about, because we're here to talk about the Broncos and the Texans. I like that the Broncos are continuing to have a good year, but this is probably the worst ratings all day. Broncos rally to beat the Texans by 3, last-second field goal. Bo Nix knows. Sunday's win over the Houston Texans wasn't pretty, but getting a win any week in the NFL is amazing. They rally, they get the victory. Will Lutz, game-winning kick. That man's made a lot of game-winning kicks in his career. I do believe he was on the Saints at a point. Dalton Schultz, dope receptions. Bo Nix, nice touchdown to R.J. Harvey, who's actually a rookie. I can't remember what college he went to, but R.J. Harvey, beast. Cortland Sutton had a nice touchdown. Bo Nix played pretty good. Despite this being a sloppy game, Bo Nix, I guess he had 2 touchdowns and a pick. Maybe not the greatest game, but some of the flashes I saw him play with was great. Davis Mills threw 17 for 30, but wasn't really able to get the ball down the field. Not a whole lot going this game. This was a very boring game. R.J. Harvey, 5 catches, 51 yards and a touchdown, and Dalton Schultz had a pretty good week, 6 catches for 77. They do lose. Singleton and all those guys made it work for the Broncos. Singleton, I think, is their leading tackler on the year. Who gives a shit about this game, though? Let's get into the next game. Let's get into the Vikings and the Lions, a fellow division rivalry here in my NFC North. But J.J. fucking McCarthy, is he the truth? I don't know. He throws for 2 touchdowns, runs for a score in his return. The Vikings beat the Lions by 3. I think this is kind of the saving grace for the Vikings. They've had to muster up with Carson Wentz playing like fucking the worst version possible of Brett Favre, throwing insane heaves down the field and throwing picks. J.J. McCarthy was hailed by teammates in a jubilant locker room after a huge victory. Really good game for J.J. McCarthy. I actually don't think he's been back since that Bears game, so this was really awesome to see. Keeping it, throwing it, doing everything in between. Jameson Williams had a nice touchdown. T.J. Hawkinson scored. A pretty good offensive game for both teams. Justin Jefferson, insane catch. Obviously, those guys are always going to make plays. I know I'm kind of skimming through these games, but again, a lot of these I didn't even really watch. I just saw like the recaps. JJ McCarthy, man, 14 for 25, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw a pick. Overall, kept it simple though. Jared Goff actually played good. I can't hate on him. 25 for 37, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery scored a touchdown. Aaron Jones had one of his best games in a while too. We got to give him credit. 9 catches for 78 yards. I think he's been out for a while, but maybe he got injured this game. I don't even know. Jordan Addison had 2 catches for 48. Really wasn't much like getting down the field, but hey, shout out to my boy Sam Laporta. He's actually on one of my fantasy teams. He had 6 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Not much going on for the Vikings defensively, but offensively, they put it together. Now that I think about it, I didn't do the jersey tradition, but the game I've been dreading all video to get into. Let's get into the Panthers and the Packers. Let's just rip the goddamn Band-Aid off, because what the fuck was that game for our offense? I don't know. But Rico Dowdle's big day and Ryan Fitzgerald's big kick give the Panthers a 3-point win over my Green Bay Packers. Rico Dowdle made one big mistake on an otherwise splendid afternoon. Obviously, the taunting penalty. They could have won this game a little bit easier, but we also could have tied the game and went to overtime. There's 2 sides to this fucking coin. There were a lot of mishaps, a lot of mistakes that led one thing to another. Absolute shocker for the Panthers. I mean, I gotta give them credit. They're having a really good season so far, at least compared to what they were expected to be. And to beat the Packers at Lambeau, that is not an easy thing to do. Hit the field goal as time expires. I mean, Josh Jacobs, shout out to him. He scored a touchdown. Rico Dowdle had 2 touchdowns on the day, and he's having a great start to the season, like half of the season, finding his wings with a new team. I can't really blame Jordan Love, because I mean, the guy threw 26 for 37 and 273 yards. He threw that stupid ass pick, but my god, I blame a lot of things on Matt Lafleur. Bryce Young threw a pick too, like come on, and he only threw 11 for 20. Like, are we serious? We're not blaming this on Jordan Love. I'm not doing that. Shout out to Josh Jacobs, really good game despite the loss. 17 catches, 87 yards and a touchdown. And our offense made some plays. Romeo Doubs had 7 catches for 91 yards. Our defense played good too. I think our actual players on the team played good. It's fucking Matt Lafleur. We need to fire the guy. Anyways, Rico Dowdle, 25 carries, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is unbelievable. Tataroy McMillan, Mr. T-Mac, 4 catches for 46 yards, and they have a solid defense. Wharton's a really good D-tackle. He was getting after us this game, so they get the victory. I don't really want to talk about this more. I would get into more analysis because this is the game I watched the most out of the afternoon. I don't want to talk about it. That was embarrassing. 13 fucking points against a 5-4 team. You only scored, what, 3 points the first half, too? Come on. Let's get into Jaguars Raiders, one of the last 2 games we're going to talk about for Sunday. If the Monday game's good, you'll see me in a different fit. But Trevor Lawrence scores in overtime. Jaguars and Raiders here. And the Jags' Devon Hamilton denies the Raiders 2-point try for a 1-point victory. Holy shit, I have the hiccups. Did I drink soda too fast? I don't know. Trevor Lawrence went into Sunday's game battling an illness and then had trouble getting the Jaguars offense going. He even threw an interception into double coverage in the end zone. So it wasn't a great start, and obviously you can see why it was such a close game for them. But they hang on. They get the road victory. Nice win. They're 5-3 now. Raiders fall short after failing on a 2-point conversion, and obviously a lot of like tweets from Raiders players. I saw Max Crosby tweeted about it. Just a disappointing game for the Raiders. They had this one. Trevor Lawrence OT touchdown. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been making plays. You got to give credit to Trevor Lawrence, seriously. Brock Bowers, nice touchdown. He's fucking amazing. He's a great player. He's gonna have a legendary career. Bashal Tootin had a tutty. He's been playing pretty decent. I don't know what's been going on, but the Jaguars always find just a good running back core no matter who it is. Maurice Jones-Drew, Travis Etienne, Jesus. Trevor Lawrence threw 23 for 34, but he threw a pick. But then again, Geno Smith, you're playing the INT machine. Geno Smith, 23 for 39, 4 touchdowns. He threw a pick, so I guess he didn't play terrible football, but there you go. What else? Parker Washington had 8 catches for 90 yards. He was a really good target for the Jaguars in this game, and my fucking God, Brock Bowers, if you play Madden, you know Brock Bowers is getting that team of the week despite the loss. 12 catches, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And they were running the hell out of Etienne this game, but they didn't get much out of it. Shout out to Josh Hines-Allen. He's an amazing player. Foyesade Oluokun. That's like an iconic duo on the Jaguars defense. So there you go. That's that game. Chiefs and Bills. Yes, yes, yes. The Buffalo Bills will always have the Chiefs number in the regular season, but come postseason, come December and January, you know it's BTA for Patrick Mahomes and the guys. Like, I'm not even glazing, but like, my fucking God. The Bills fans are going to talk so much shit about this game, but it's not going to mean anything until you beat them in the postseason. Josh Allen has 3 touchdowns. The Bills use a sturdy defense. They They beat Mahomes and the Chiefs by 7 points. After Josh Allen spent much of the past week downplaying Buffalo's showdown against Kansas City, he revealed there was more to the rivalry than he let on. So, high-profile clash. Obviously, this was a big-time game, the most hyped-up game of the day, and it delivered. It was a really good game. Mahomes tried to throw a Hail Mary. They got it swatted. Kareem Hunt playing really well, despite a loss in the wake of Isaiah Pacheco getting hurt. Josh Allen got a QB sneak, so that's fun. I think he did it twice this fucking game, which is crazy, but it's Josh fucking Allen. I mean, what more can you say? Patrick Mahomes, not a great game. I mean, 250 yards, but he threw a pick. This is one of the worst games for the MVP favorite. I think he's going to get knocked out of that, and I think a guy like Drake May is definitely taking over. Josh Allen, fantastic game. He could get up there in MVP voting. 23 for 26, 273 yards and a tutty. Really good game for James Cook. He ran 114 yards. Kareem Hunt had a touchdown. Rashee Rice had 4 catches for 80, and Dalton Kincaid. A lot of really good tight end performances today, I will say. 6 catches, 101 yards and a touchdown, and they had Joey Bosa, and that Bishop guy on the Bills defense was really good. I don't remember his name, but I think that's going to do it. I know I probably should have talked about this game more. I watched a decent amount of it, at least like the first half, but I want to keep these videos short because there's actually like already a lot of games to talk about, so let's go. So as you guys may have noticed, the Monday game really wasn't worth talking about because the Cowboys are absolutely garbage. That is going to do it for the video. Those were all the games we're going to get into. This is like a 19 minutes of clips, so kind of bear with me. I will try to get this out on Wednesday. I think I should be able to. I don't really have too much going on this week, but there you have it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, GZTV, and yes, I am repping my Packers here. I just figured I'd throw this on. It's a really nice jacket my dad gave me, so no jersey this week. That's what you're getting for the fucking video. And plus, I tried to look for an Aaron Rodgers jersey at home that fit me, but it just wasn't gonna work. But really good week of football, especially compared to the very like counterproductive, very like underwhelming week we got last week. You guys saw my video. It was like 5 fucking minutes long, if that. A lot of really good content this week, so I am glad. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the videos. Check out the socials, do all that stuff. Have a good rest of your day and night whenever you're watching. I am out.